them one after the other until what happens?
Until the branch is witness.
Yeah, so the spoils spread on the ground here, the leaves spread on the ground. And what's the witness? What observes these leaves spread on the ground? What's the witness to these leaves spread on the ground? What witnesses? What sees these things? What does he say in the metaphor? The branch, right? The branch, the bare branch. The leaves all fall off. Eventually, the branch is bare, and the leaves are all strewn on the ground. What is compared to this? That's the one thing we're comparing. And the other thing, the thing here that Dante sees, that he says is like that, is what? What do we have in the second tercet? Do you have a tie?
Oh, I don't.
Well, in the second tercet, what is he comparing to these leaves falling off the tree in autumn?
Evil seed of Adam's fall.
The evil seed of Adam's fall. What does that mean? The evil seed of Adam's fall.
The evil seed of Adam's fall.
The evil seed of Adam's fall. What does that mean? The evil seed of Adam's fall. So we're talking about the forbidden fruit. Yeah, but not that here are literally the seeds of the fruit. What is it? The evil seed of Adam's fall, what is that doing? Maybe if we see what the seed is doing here, we can figure out what it is that he means by the seed of Adam's fall. The evil seed of Adam's fall is doing what? What does it say right there? So did the evil seed of Adam's fall drop from that shore to the boat. What's dropping from the shore to the boat? What boat is this? What shore is this? Where is Dante right now? The Acheron River.
Isn't that the first level?
Well, it's the sort of the border of the first level of hell. So he hasn't quite entered hell yet. But what are these things that are dropping from the shore into the boat? What boat is this? So it's
Isn't it the boat that takes them from hell to hell? So I'm guessing soul.
yeah, the souls, the evil souls here. The evil seed of Adam's fall, the seed, the thing that came from Adam's fall, from the first sin in the garden, are these damned souls here. They're dropping from the shore to the boat, and what does Dante compare them dropping from the shore into the boat? What does he compare it to? What thing in nature does Dante compare to these souls? Okay, he also compares it to a falcon being summoned, but what was the first thing that Dante compared them to? Like the leaves falling off the trees, one by one, these dead leaves. When autumn comes, first the leaves, they turn these beautiful colors as they begin to die, and then they die and they shrivel up, they become brittle and crumbly, and they fall off the tree onto the ground one by one, making this big pile. And that's the image here that Dante is bringing to our mind, this image of leaves falling off the trees in the fall. Dante's hell not only involves fire, it also involves cold. Maybe part of what he's getting at here in this here. Yes. Isn't there what? Yeah, there's a river of blood. There are a lot of different things. There are hot areas and there are cold areas. But generally, the popular image of hell nowadays is usually of it being hot and fiery. But Dante's hell, the worst parts are the cold parts, not the hot parts. Okay. Anything else? Questions from Canto 3? All right, make sure you have your poems prepared for Thursday. You've got 2 days. Hopefully they're ready or almost ready. What else? Creative writing due Friday night. And Canto 4, let's say for tomorrow. We'll finish Canto 4 today. For tomorrow, the 9th.
What page did we leave off? 98?
We left off, so we'll pick up where we left off. We were on page, 98. We had finished page 98. And so in Canto 4, hell that they come into. Well, first of all, what general subsection of hell are we in?
They're in the, cons, I don't know,
What's the word?
conspiracy?
Concupiscence, or what's the other word?
Greed.
Greed is a type of concupiscence.
Can you say the sheep?
Yes, the she-wolf. Concupiscence is the type of sins here, desire, or we could call them sins of incontinence, sins of lack of self-control. Incontinence. Okay, two different ways we call it, or the sins of the she-wolf, the sins of the she-wolf. Circle, who is in hell here?
What you mean? What do you got?
Who's in this first part of hell? So yes, we're in the general area is sins of concupiscence or incontinence.
People that they're being punished by this, like being desired to go to heaven.
Right, so the very first section here, there isn't a particular sin that they're being punished for. And so their punishment is just to have this desire for heaven, but being unable to reach it. Why are these people not being punished?
Because they don't know about it. Yeah.
Why are they not being punished, though? We'll see later, there are other people who maybe didn't know about Christianity who are being punished.
Because they didn't get baptized.
Well, the baptism isn't why they're not being punished.
They don't sin.
Right, they didn't sin. They don't deserve to be punished in hell. So they're not they're not punished.
So they're just living.
But why are they in hell and not somewhere else? Not only did they not know about God, but specifically they didn't have what? Baptism, right. Right. Without baptism, or without the covenants from the Old Testament, they can't get into heaven. We read in line 34, they have not sinned, but their great worth alone was not enough. For they did not know baptism, which is the gateway to the faith you follow. Yes? Which one? The ashes? On Ash Wednesday? That'll be in like February.
What is it?
Oh, what's it for? So in the question is about Ash Wednesday and the cross of ash on the forehead. In the Old Testament in particular, when something bad happens and people realize that they need to change their lives and repent of the bad things that they've done, as part of a way to make up for this, to atone for this, the traditional combination is sackcloth and ashes. Sackcloth is a very uncomfortable, scratchy garment, and the ashes, you're dirty. And so it's an uncomfortability, you're giving up the comfort of being clean and comfortable as a way to atone, to make up for the sins. And so on Ash Wednesday, it's the beginning of Lent, which is a period of preparation for Easter and of penance, of trying to turn away from your sins. And so it's a sign of that. Yeah. Yes. All right. So, and all right. Continuing, top of page 99. Tell me, my teacher. Tell me, O my master, I began, wishing to have confirmed by him the teachings of unerring Christian doctrine. Did any ever leave here through his merit or with another's help and go to bliss? And he who understood my hidden question answered, I was a novice in this place when I saw a mighty Lord descend to us, wore the sign of victory as his crown. He took from us the shade of our first parent, of Abel his good son, of Noah too, and of obedient Moses who made the laws. Abram the patriarch, David the king, Israel with his father and his children, with Rachel whom he worked so hard to win, and many more he chose for blessedness. And you should know, before these souls were taken, no human soul had ever reached salvation. What do we find out here? What happened in this section of hell, in limbo? Not quite that they saw God. You could sort of say that. But more importantly, what happened? Who got taken? Where? And got taken where? Or where from? What does Dante ask? In lines 46 to 50. Has anybody ever left this place? Has anybody ever left limbo? And how does Virgil respond? Has anybody ever left? You sure? What does Virgil say? I was a novice in this place when I saw a mighty Lord descend to us who wore the sign of victory as his crown. He took from us the shade of our first parent, of Abel his good son, of Noah too, and of obedient Moses who made the laws. So what's the answer? Dante asked, did anybody ever leave? Yes or no? We're on 99. Has anybody ever left? Yes or no? Yes. When? When? And how? How do people leave limbo? And when? Those two answers are very closely connected. Yes, we do learn when. But how? How? How did they get out? That's maybe a more straightforward question to answer. Who? Who does Virgil say? A mighty Lord descended to us. Who what? Who wore the sign of victory as his crown. A couple of different ways we could take that. Whom is Virgil referring to? He doesn't mean the Roman emperor. Who is this mighty Lord wearing the sign of victory as his crown? Who's going to take some people out of limbo? Specifically, yes, Cain and Abel. Who else? Noah. We saw Noah. Who else? Moses. We didn't see Moses in Genesis. He's not till the next book of the Bible, Exodus. Who else? Abram. Oh, we spent lots of time with Abram. Who else? David, the king of Israel. He's much later in the Bible. Who else? Israel, also known as? What's Israel's other name? Jacob, yes. His father, who's his father? It's Jacob's father. Abram's his grandfather.
What is it? Start with Jacob.
Who's Jacob's father? Starts with an I.
Oh, no, not he.
No, Israel is Jacob.
That's him.
Who's his father? Rachel's his wife.
Why do I?
Isaac.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Israel or Jacob, Isaac, his children, those 12 sons of Israel, Rachel, his wife, and many more.
Wait, why are we talking about?
Why are we talking about them? Yeah, what do these people share in common? Why does Dante mention these people? What did Dante just ask Virgil? What did he ask him at the top of page 99? Just look at come on, we already talked about this. Has anybody ever left here? And what does Virgil say? Yes. And then why does he mention these people? Virgil doesn't care about Genesis. He's a pagan. He doesn't care about Genesis. Why does he mention these people? So is everybody else in hell. Why are these people special?
They're not supposed to be.
Where are these people? What was Dante's question? Come on, this is the third time now that I'm asked this. What was Dante's question? At the top of page 99. Has anyone ever left? Virgil responds and tells him, yes, what happened? Right, Christ came down and took What? Who? He took Abel. Yep. Who's Abel's son is
Noah.
no can't remember his son's name. Also Noah, Moses, Abram, David. What do these people share in common? Two things, at least. Well, what's one thing? Why does Virgil mention them? These are the list of people who what?
No.
This is the list of people who what? Who what? Well, Moses made the laws, okay, but these are the people who did what? What happened to these people? All of them. What event are we talking about? Yeah, I figured it out. Okay, so this is not a name that I expect you guys to have known, but this is the event that Dante is asking about and that Virgil confirms, called the harrowing of hell. Why does Christ show up in hell? Okay, I'm going to give you a hint and say that that's the person that Virgil is talking about. He says, the mighty Lord descending to us, who wore the sign of victory as his crown. Why does Christ end up in hell? Why is he there?
Why is Dante?
No, why is Christ in hell? Dante asks, has anybody ever left? And Virgil says, this guy came down. Yes, right? In the Apostles' Creed. So Christ dies in Jerusalem. He descended into, let's see, suffered under Pontius Pilate, suffered, died, and was buried. He descended into hell. On the third day, he rose from the dead. He ascended to heaven and stood at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. Descended into hell. This event here, the harrowing of hell, before Christ's death, it was not possible for humans, to go to heaven. So the good souls, where do they have to go? Can't go to heaven, which is part of hell. So he goes to hell, and whom does he take out of hell? What do all those people, that list, what do they all share in common? Look at this list here, lines 55 through 61 or so. Yeah, but who are these people? Who's the shade of our first parent? Who's our first parent, by the way? Adam, right? He means Adam. Okay, but that's everybody. But who else? Where do we learn about these? Where do we learn about most of these other people? In Genesis, right? In Scripture. These people are all, they're all before Christ, but they're also all Israelites, you could say, more or less.
Oh.
Right? These are people that God had dealings with before Christ. Adam, Abel, Noah, Moses, Abram, David, Israel, Isaac, Rachel. The people who were taken out of limbo were Israelites of various kinds, or Hebrews we call them, harrowing of hell. And this makes them able to go to heaven now that heaven's been opened up. The harrowing of hell. All right, and Dante says that he asked this because he wanted to know whether what he had learned in school, whether that was actually true. Dante knows what the answer should be to this question, but he wants to hear it from Virgil. All right, And notice Virgil says, and you should know, line 62, before these souls were taken, no human soul had ever reached salvation. Not until Christ came down and freed these people and brought them out into heaven. All right, line 64, continuing. We did not stop our journey while he spoke, but continued on our way along the woods. I say the woods, for souls were thick as trees. We had not gone too far from where I woke when I made out a fire up ahead, a hemisphere of light that lit the dark. We were still at some distance from that place, but close enough for me vaguely to see that honorable souls possessed that spot. O glory of the sciences and arts! Who are these souls enjoying special honor, dwelling apart from all the others here? And he to me, the honored name they bear that still resounds above in your own world, wins heaven's favor for them in this place. And as he spoke, I heard a voice announce, now let us honor our illustrious poet. His shade that left is now returned to us. And when the voice was silent and all was quiet, I saw 4 mighty shades approaching us, their faces showing neither joy nor sorrow. Then my good master started to explain, observe the one who comes with sword in hand, leading the 3 as if he were their master. It is the shade of Homer, sovereign poet, and coming second, Horace the satirist. Ovid is the 3rd, and last comes Lucan. Since they all share one name with me, the name you heard resounding in that single voice, they honor me and do well doing so. So I saw gathered there the noble school of the master singer of sublimest verse, who soars above all others like the eagle. And after they had talked a while together, they turned and with a gesture welcomed me. And at that sign I saw my master smile. Greater honor still they deigned to grant me. They welcomed me as one of their own group, so that I numbered 6th among such minds. We walked together toward the shining light, discussing things that here are best kept silent, as there they were most fitting for discussion. As Dante and Virgil continue along, what do they see? What does Dante see off in the distance? Some honorable souls. What else does he see? Up ahead. Say it again. A light, a fire up ahead. A hemisphere of light that lit the dark. Okay, there's a spot of brightness in limbo here. And these honorable souls that they meet, who are they? What do they share in common?
They were thick. That's true.
Well, so the souls are thick as trees. There are lots of souls about, but there are some souls in particular that Dante meets that we learn a bit more about. They speak to him. Homer's one of them. Who else? Horace. Who else? Ovid and Lucan. Now Homer, you know Homer. Yes? Okay, Horace, Ovid, and Lucan are 3 major Roman poets. Who else is a member of this group? Virgil, right. Notice the voices at the beginning. Let us honor our illustrious poet. His shade that left is now returned to us. Virgil had left them and now he's come back. So these are the 5 great pagan poets, according to Dante. Homer, Virgil, Horace, Lucan, and Ovid. And they gather and they speak. And then what do after they've talked with each other for a little while? What else do they do after they speak with each other, these 5 pagan poets? They welcome Dante. He says they welcomed me as one of their own group, so that I numbered 6th among such minds. Dante, I guess, thinks that he's a pretty great poet. He's like, so there's like, Homer and Virgil and Horace, Ovid, and Lucan, and then there's me. Yes, so Virgil gets to down here in limbo speak with these great poets. And they're walking towards the light as they do so. Line 106, towards the bottom of page 100. We reached the boundaries of a splendid castle that 7 times was circled by high walls defended by a sweetly flowing stream. We walked right over it, as on hard ground. Through 7 gates I passed with those wise spirits, and then we reached a meadow fresh in bloom. There people were, whose eyes were calm and grave, whose bearing told of great authority. Seldom they spoke, and always quietly. Then moving to one side, we reached a place spread out and luminous, higher than before, allowing us to view all who were there. And right before us on the lustrous green, the mighty shades were pointed out to me. My heart felt glory when I looked at them. There was Electra standing with a group, among whom I saw Hector and Aeneas, and Caesar, falcon-eyed and fully armed. I saw Camilla and Penthesilea. Across the way I saw the Latian king with Lavinia, his daughter, by his side. I saw the Brutus who drove out the Tarquin, Lucretia, Julia, Marcia, and Cornelia. Off by himself I noticed Saladin. And when I raised my eyes a little higher, I saw the master sage of those who know, sitting with his philosophic family. All gaze at him, all pay their homage to him. And there I saw both Socrates and Plato, each closer to his side than any other. Democritus, who said the world was chance, Diogenes, Thales, Anaxagoras, Empedocles, Zeno, and Heraclitus. I saw the one who classified our herbs, this Diosphorides, and I saw Orpheus, Tully, Linus, Seneca the moralist, Euclid the geometer, and Ptolemy, Hippocrates, Galen, Avicenna, and Averroes who gave the commentary. I cannot tell about them all in full. My theme is long and urges me ahead. Often, I must omit things I have seen. The company of 6 becomes just 2. My wise guide leads me by another way out of the quiet into tempestuous air. I come into a place where no light is. So Dante joins this group of poets, and where do they walk to? Where do they walk to? Within limbo. Where do they go? Say that again? That's one of the things that they'll see in this place. Where do they go in limbo?
They go through 7 gates.
7 gates into what? What kind of thing is this?
A meadow?
There's a meadow that's part of it. They're walking towards this light. What does it turn out? What's the bright light? What kind of a thing is this? The boundaries of a splendid castle. Yes, this is castle or city.
Oh, this is not hell.
In this section of hell, right? So it's strange. Here, hell is dark. It's unpleasant. However, this portion, remember, there's no active punishment there.
There's actually light and a castle.
There's light. There's this castle. It has these gates. It has this beautiful stream around it. It has a meadow in it. It has towers. It's got 7 layers to it. The number 7 represents what? Okay, luck, but in a Christian context, perfection or holiness. Here, this bright city is similar to how Dante portrays heaven. It's got these layers to it. It's bright. It's beautiful. But it's not. It's sort of like an imitation. Yes, it's much better than the darkness. But ultimately, the people there are just men. In heaven, God will be at the center of this city, this castle. But here, it's just men. Still, impressive, amazing men. There is something good here, even though it's hell, even though it's limbo. And whom do they see there? Let's take a look. There are a lot of names listed here. A lot of them you might not be familiar with. Some of them you probably are. They go up to this lawn, this lustrous green, means like a lawn, open field. The mighty shades were pointed out to me. And they see Electra. She's a figure from Greek mythology. Hector and Aeneas, Trojans who fought in the Trojan War. Caesar, Julius Caesar. Camilla, Penthesilea, the Latian king, Lavinia. There are a whole lot of figures from Roman history here ancient Roman history. Lucretia, Julia, Marcia, Cornelia. And then who's Saladin, who's off by himself? Who's Saladin? Say it again? Not a sage. A sage is a wise man. So we've got Greek and Roman heroes, we could say, in here. Heroes and other figures. Saladin. He's off by himself. Who's Saladin? Maybe we'll come back to Saladin in a minute. Saladin's off by himself. Who else do we have here? After that, I raised my eyes a little higher. I saw the master sage of those who know sitting with his philosophic family. Okay, so philosophic family here means a group of philosophers. Anyone know who the most important philosopher is in Dante's mind? Not Saladin. He doesn't name him here. Who's the most important of the ancient philosophers? The master sage of all who know. All gaze at him, all pay their homage to him. Aristotle. For the Christian world, the most important of the ancient Greek philosophers. Socrates and Plato, the next most important ones, are right next to him. Then we get this whole big list of Greek philosophers: Democritus, Diogenes, Thales, Anaxagoras, Empedocles, Zeno, Heraclitus. Then Dioscorides, an ancient scientist. Orpheus, a figure from Greek myth who was a poet. Tully, that's Cicero, a great Roman speaker. Linus, Seneca the moralist. Some other Greek and Roman scientists. Not that Dante would use the word scientist, but it's a scientists. And then also included with those last bunch, Hippocrates and Galen. These were Greek doctors of medicine. And then we've got Avicenna and Averroes. Now, you'll notice there's a question on your sheet specifically asking about Saladin, Avicenna, and Averroes. Averroes, who made the commentary. This is a commentary on the works of Aristotle. These three, almost everybody else here is from the ancient world. Ancient Greeks, ancient Romans, figures from ancient Greek and Roman myth. Saladin, Averroes, and Avicenna are much more recent than all the other ones. They're actually from not that long before Dante's lifetime, within the last couple of centuries before Dante writes this book. So most of the people here are from before the time of Christ, and that's why they're in limbo. They were never able to be baptized, and they weren't Hebrews, so they didn't have that relationship with God either. How did these people end up here? What do they share in common? Saladin, Averroes, and Avicenna. I'll give you a hint. Those are not European names. From the East, from the Arab world.
So how do they end up there?
Why are they there and not some other part of hell? Clearly they weren't Christians. They're not in heaven.
Isn't it because they didn't sin?
They didn't sin, but most of the people who are here most of the people who are mentioned are from before the time of Christ. These people, so if they weren't from before the time of Christ, then it must be the case that they didn't have what? Baptism. Why didn't they have baptism? Why didn't Saladin, Averroes, and Avicenna have baptism? Not just they didn't live in Rome, but they didn't live in Europe. What part of the world were they from? The East. So they weren't Christians, they were not Jews. That's close though. Muslims. Yeah. Saladin was a Muslim military leader, very successful around the time of the Crusades. One of the big opponents of the Christian forces in the Crusades, Saladin. So like Islam, you know what Islam is? The religion? Okay, well, we can have a separate discussion about that. But Let's talk about it. So they're not Christian. They believe in one God, but they're not Christian. They don't believe that Christ was God. They have some different prophets. They have their different scriptures. And so in the Middle Ages, a lot of the political tensions were between the Christian world and the Muslim world to the east. So the Crusades were fought. Here, these guys, even though they're Muslims and so sort of the enemies of the Christian world, here Dante still thinks that they're that they were worthy, that they had virtue, even though they weren't baptized. All right, and finally, they pass all these people. The company of 6 becomes just 2. So it was Dante, Virgil, and these 4 other poets. The other 4 leave. Out of the quiet, limbo is quiet. It's pleasant. It has some light in there. Into temple light is, as they descend into the next section of hell. All right, chapter 4 Canto 4 questions due tomorrow. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys later.